What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Extra Innings Podcast. I'm your host, Elijah Rodriguez, and we're back today with another episode. Today's a little bit different, mostly because yesterday was kind of a weird day in the sense that there were literally only 3 games at all yesterday. So not a whole lot happening as of yesterday. We already talked about the weekend yesterday and things that happened over the weekend. But yeah, yesterday was a strange day, and all 3 games were actually on MLB Network. I'm a little pissed because I missed 2 to blackouts. I can't stand blackouts. But nonetheless, we're going to be talking today. It looks like MLB released their latest Rookie of the Year poll. So I haven't really talked much about anybody who I'd be putting at Rookie of the Year in either league. So I figured we can talk about it today. I apologize. It's probably going to be a short episode. My throat is jacked up. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's allergies or what's going on, but woke up like at 2 a.m. and my throat was just on fire. I've been throwing down cough drops trying to make this work, drinking my coffee, but I don't know. We're going to see how far we can make it through this. All right. So starting with the American League, and I kind of wanted to go through them and, we'll talk about stats and where I think they're at. So first one on the list, obviously he's a front runner in the American. We're going to start with the American League. The front runner right now with 25 first place votes is Luis Gil. So Luis Gil was kind of put into the starting role when Cole was found out that he was going to be missing a good chunk of time. He's 26 years old and leads the team in strikeouts 99 and ERA 3.15 and is tied for wins. He's got 9. Though the issue here is that June sucked for Hill. June was pretty rough in the sense that he went 2 for 2. He's 2-2 with a 6.45 ERA. Not very good. Though he's still, apparently he's still leading in K-9 and wins and ERA. He still has a strong whiff percentage and strikeout percentage. But we're gonna have to see where he keeps going because his last 2 starts have not been good. But I mean, up until this point, right, he's been nails. So number 2, obviously Mason Miller, who's 5 first place votes. I thought Mason Miller would be a little bit higher. He leads all AL relievers in strikeout percentage, obviously K/9 ratio, of course, FWAR, and batting average against, and he's racked up 14 saves and 16 opportunities with a 1.96 ERA. Yeah, and he also leads all of baseball in pitches over 100 miles an hour. So, yeah, of course, obviously, I thought he'd be a little bit higher. I thought he'd be beating Gil at least, but Mason Miller, hey, whatever. This dude's a stud, right? And then number 3, we have Colton Cowser for the Orioles with 8 first place votes. So another guy who's kind of up there. He had a 1.004 OPS through April. Pretty good, but he's cooled a little bit. Obviously, the Orioles have kind of come through this weird lull. Getting swept by the Astros was probably a pretty low point in their season. But 12 home runs, 116 OPS plus, strong for a rookie. Not bad. He's got a really low average, surprisingly, which is crazy. A 223, and he has a high number of strikeouts. So that's probably what's hurting him a little bit. But when he makes contact, obviously the dude makes contact. He plays well. So interesting. We'll see where he kind of goes from there. But I don't see him beating any of these. The other 2 rookies we just named, I don't really see him coming anywhere near that. So Wyatt Abreu. I haven't heard much on Wyatt or Willier, whatever you say his name. I do know he's been hurt a good chunk of time, if I'm not mistaken. He's missed quite a bit of. I want to say the whole last month. I don't even think he played in June. Now that I think about it, I don't think he has. But anyway, I mean, he's got a 829 OPS before the injury, so not bad. Sorry, he came back on the 20th. Okay, I was gonna say he'd been hurt for a while, so he came back about a week ago. And he's got 2 extra base hits in his first 7 games and has a 304 on base percentage and 23 plate appearances. So was hot, got hurt, and is still hot here. So not bad there. Pretty solid. So Wyatt Abreu, Red Sox, another good shot, another good guy. And then number 5, Wyatt Langford, who has 1. How Wyatt Langford keeps getting overlooked, I don't know. I mean, the dude just hit for the fucking cycle yesterday. He'd been on fire before that. How is MLB putting Wyatt Abreu before Wyatt fucking Langford? I don't understand. I don't get it. No fucking sense to me whatsoever. He was on the IL for 60 games in 2024. but he was their number one prospect going into the year. He was the number one prospect last year, and I kind of talked about that yesterday on socials about how, they didn't really need him much because they were obviously a great team. But yeah, interesting enough. But he hit for his first cycle Sunday, sorry. He's batting 299 with an 849 OPS, which is pretty damn good. And his hard hit rate is in the 60th percentile, which is solid. He's fast. He legs out a lot of extra base hits. He plays with a lot of just like he just goes hard, man. The dude he's a ball player, man. And yeah, he did miss 3 weeks. But I'm telling you guys, Langford is someone to watch. If you're a guy checking it out, Langford is the guy you need to be checking out, no doubt. All right, so other receiving votes, these are kind of just like honorable mentions. Sadan, Rafaela, David Hamilton, Simeon Woods Richardson, Cade Smith, Hunter Gaddis, Evan Carter, Justin Slayton, and then Spencer Horwitz. I don't know any of these guys, and the fact that yeah, they're decent probably. I mean, besides obviously Evan Carter, who made his name last year in the World Series, but this is technically his rookie year because it's the first full year. Been underwhelming for Evan Carter, especially how well he played last year. So, but we'll move on to the National League. We've got, of course, be stupid to think anything else. Paul Skenes at the number 1 spot. But geez, he didn't crack our top 5 in May. Oh, well, he hadn't debuted. Okay, yeah, he hadn't debuted yet. And then vaulted to number 3 in June, and he's now reached the summit of a runway leader for July. Yeah, he's pretty much going to win Rookie of the Year, and if he doesn't, I don't quite understand how that happens. Obviously, throws easily in the 100 miles an hour, kind of created this splinker thing that people are trying to recreate now. It's like a splitter and a sinker mix. Pitch, obviously, his fastball average is 99.2 miles an hour. He's 4-0 with a 2.06 ERA and 9 starts for the Pirates, and has 70 strikeouts and 52 in the third. Need we say more? No. 30 votes for Paul Skenes, obviously. Jackson Merrill for the Padres. Merrill's had a great rookie campaign. Leads an average of all rookies in the NL at 294. Leads in home runs, slugging percentage, and RBIs, and ranks 3rd in OPS. And the MLB thinks he's going to get even better, which is kind of hard to believe sometimes. But Merrill's expected average is a tad higher than his actual, which is at 301, but his expected slugging percentage is 45% higher. I don't even know I've never even read this before. This is kind of weird, but a good second behind Paul Skenes, but I really think this is a wrap here. We can talk about all 5 of these guys, but I think we all know exactly who's going to win the Rookie of the Year in the National League. It's pretty blatantly obvious at this point. Interesting to see, but I think we all know the answer. Let's see. I lost my page here. Shota Imanaga, 2 first place votes. Obviously started off extremely hot, and he's not as effective as he was at the beginning of the year. He started off 5-0 with a 0.78 ERA, but he's still been good. I mean, he's not been bad. I mean, he's got, since May 29th hasn't been good. He had one really bad inning, I think, that really killed his ERA against the Mets, but he's still 307, which is still good. It's not, legendary by any means like what he had going for the first part of the season, but it's still good. And he's like, it says effectively slow fastball at 92. It's not really slow. It's still gas, but he's got a 35% chase rate in baseball's 95th percentile. So he throws nasty shit. Hopefully he can kind of gain back some of that, what he had at the beginning of the year, because, he had a tough outing, and that's what I've been telling a lot of people, like a lot of pitchers this past weekend kind of went down, like Ranger Suarez, who had been absolutely tearing it up, finally got lit up. Luis Gil, who has pretty much nails all year, finally hit a skid, and then that killed that. And now Imanaga, who also was like nails, obviously a 0.78 for a while, then comes into a point where he's like, well, you're just not as dominant, and it happens. So these guys are human. They're not going to be these machines all year long, and we knew that. I know that. Sometimes I forget that reporters expect almost perfection from these guys, and it's just impossible to think that one day they're just not going to be 100% on the mound. And that happened obviously here, and that crushed his ERA. But still a long season, still a lot of baseball. Where it's July 2nd, there's still at least 3 more solid months of baseball. So these stats can really even themselves out. But Imanaga is a great option there for Rookie of the Year, I'd say. Joey Ortiz for the Brewers. Yeah, he hasn't gotten much fanfare at all. I know that he was making, obviously, he made the club out of spring training, but haven't heard really much of anything. He has an 835 OPS, and he leads all MLB qualified rookies, and he has a 380 on base percentage. So not bad. But he leads in walks. Little underwhelming, besides the fact that he doesn't chase or whiff, apparently, and he's a strong defender. Nowhere near the star power of the last three we just listed, but okay. And then Gavin Stone, another guy who's torn it up. I agree there. I agree 100%. Gavin Stone has been, he's been good all year. 2.73 ERA, much needed for the Dodgers, who have had a lot of starting pitcher woes. The bullpen's been all right. You got Trinan, you got Vesia, you got a lot of guys that can go in. You're missing Gonsolin, Kershaw. Walker Buehler finally made his way back, and he hasn't been the same. Imanada's on the IL. Yamamoto's on the IL. So they've had a lot of issues. Obviously, Glasnow's obviously been the guy spearheading this, but again, you don't want to rely solely on Glasnow because he has yet to pitch a true full season in baseball without some sort of issue or some sort of injury. So got to be careful there. But at the same time, Gavin Stone kind of came in at a time when they needed it, and he's done really well. 19.5% strikeout rate is near the bottom, but he does produce a lot of soft contact. We've seen that he induces a lot of ground balls, a lot of pop-ups, and he keeps a lot of times, throws a lot of goose eggs up. So kind of a sleeper, but totally worth it in my opinion. And then other receiving votes, Jared Jones. How did Jared Jones not make this list? Yamamoto, how did he not make the list? Mason Wynn, how did he not make the list? Michael Busch, how did he not make the list? Jackson Chourio. I feel like a lot of these guys, any of these guys would have replaced this guy. What is he? Joey Ortiz. I question a lot of some of the stuff that fucking Major League Baseball comes up with. How are you going to say that Jared Jones, Yamamoto, Mason Wynn, Michael Busch are not better than this guy? Not Jackson Merrill. What am I talking about? Joey Ortiz. Pay more attention to Joey Ortiz, but he hasn't really done much to pay attention about. He's doing all right. He's okay. An 835 OPS is good. It's great. But some of these other guys are having a lot more of an impact on the game. That's what I'm saying. But, whatever. I don't quite agree with that there. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think. Actually, let me recap this one more time just so we can go through. So for the American League, the first place vote is Luis Gil. Then you've got Mason Miller at number 2. Number 3, Colton Cowser. Number 4, Wilyer Abreu. And number 5, Wyatt Langford. I think Wyatt Langford should be a little bit higher, honestly. And then I think also some of these other guys can kind of replace that Wilyer guy. But Red Sox are having a great year, so we'll give it to them. National League, Paul Skenes is pretty much a run for it at this point. I don't think anybody's going to come close. Number 2, Jackson Merrill, good shot. Number 3, Shota Imanaga, another great pick. Joey Ortiz, I think, should be scrapped from this conversation. And number 5, Gavin Stone, I think, should be moved up. And I think Jared Jones should take place in one of these. But unless they were trying to just not give it to a bunch of pitchers. But I just, yeah, that Brewers one makes, the Brewers one makes no fucking sense to me. There's too many guys making bigger impacts on the game. But let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with this list? Do you think there's other guys that may not even be mentioned in the honorable mentions that should be given Rookie of the Year? Let me know what you guys think. But thanks a lot for listening, guys. We're going to have some stuff on socials. I'm thinking today I'm going to see how my voice feels. So if for some reason you don't see anything from me on socials today, it's because my voice is absolutely jacked up and it hurts like a mother to talk right now. But we will for sure be back tomorrow with another episode. Lots of games happening today, much different from yesterday, where, like I said, there's only 3 games, all of them on MLB Network. So if you don't have MLB Network, probably didn't watch baseball yesterday, unfortunately. But lots more games happening today. Hopefully a lot more stuff is going on so we can report, we can talk. But again, guys, thanks for listening, and we will catch you guys tomorrow.